Brodes Media.
Disgusting. Flat out disgusting effort following what you did on Friday night. You should be ashamed of yourself. You possibly allowed Juan Soto to wake up. You just allowed 7 fucking bombs. 7 fucking piss missiles. These things were nuked. Why couldn't you do that, huh? Is it too much to ask on a night where the ball is clearly moving and grooving in the air? Where's ours? Did you even show up to the ballpark with a purpose? Is that a fair question to ask? Wow. All the momentum, just like that, potentially snipped. There's a chance you can save yourself with Luzardo on the bump for Sunday Night Baseball, but we're not there yet. And that's a big question mark considering the Luzardo that's been on the mound for the last 4 starts. And as much as I'm a Mick Abelsman, this one's a tough pill to swallow. Now, against the Cubs and the Mets, we have a he can't pitch against better lineups problem. Back to back to back! Not just back to back. Back to back to back, man! Come on! This is right after going down 1-0 early. And before you know it, 3-1. Nick, still riding the high. I don't know about you, but that play out in right field where he's jumping up into the wall, where the outfield and the first base line meets, and he's in the corner, and then the ball's 80 feet behind him and to his left. I mean, I can't even describe where the ball went. He was in such a random-ass spot on the field. I didn't even know. What? Oh, why? Why does it have to be so painful? Why does it have to be so brutal? Why can't it just be lovely? Why? Joe Ross stinks at baseball, but we all knew that. You never know what you're going to get on a day-to-day basis. You let the Mets come into town after getting embarrassed and suck the life out of your fans. Out of CBP. Back to back to back. I'm so sad. I really wanted to absolutely kill the Mets. Big time. You could have kicked them in the nuts so bad that one may have popped. If you could have done the unthinkable, which is win this game and then set up an opportunity to sweep them. 3 straight sweeps. They're questioning everything. They're lost. They're afraid. They have to start screaming about team meetings and firing people and questioning everything about their existence as a group. But now it's the same old story and the same old dance. This team is inconsistent as hell. And it puts it in perspective for the 1,000th time how important Aaron Nola is to this franchise. 4 innings of work, 3 innings of work. The Mick Abels, unfortunately, as a Mick Abel fan here, it doesn't cut it. And Pitching Ninja is trying to say that he's tipping pitch. No. He's not good enough yet. And I hate to be so harsh, considering I've been so 2 thumbs up on the kid. And even in that Cubs game, I took away positives, even though the box score was dim. But now it's back-to-back starts against teams that aren't the Pittsburgh Pirates, that aren't the Miami Marlins. He did well against the Toronto Blue Jays, and they're not stiffs by any means. But this is definitely not helping. This is making me feel worse about where he currently stands. Not that he's not on a good trajectory, not that he's not in a good spot considering where he was last year as basically a nobody in the organization anymore. He rebranded himself, and that's great. But this was a test. This is a division game, a night game, a national broadcast game with the series on the line. You could have won the series. You didn't lose it yet, but this was a game where you could have taken 2 out of 3 at a minimum against a division rival where you are locked up no matter what to lead the weekend with the division lead in hand. And he allowed back to back to back. That is so rare. That means it's batting practice. You're not even close to doing the damage that you need to do. And I thought maybe it would be a similar storyline to what happened with Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler in the first inning, the Mets could have broke the game open. But because it's Zach Wheeler, they roll into the double play. And then, of course, the Phillies never look back. Now, Mick Abel's not Zach Wheeler. So instead of 0 runs, he allowed 1. Where it could have been 4. It could have been 3. So you limit it. And you move on. And then a pretty decent bounce back inning after that. Until it wasn't. This thing unraveled. I hate watching the relief pitching come in. We already get nervous and tight when it's Strom and it's Romano, let alone Mercados. And now the Taijuan Walker experience is obviously when the game's out of reach is when you're going to see him. You tried in game 1, and I don't know if that was Rob doing Rob things, which is leaning into his strengths of being a player manager and saying, okay, you can go up against your former team. Zach Wheeler gets the start. Now we'll go to Walker. Well, the leash isn't very long. I can't go back to that in a tight ball game. And you never know with Rob because some things he's willing to die on the hill for and others he's willing to adjust. Bohm benched in the postseason. And hey, Bohm earlier this year wasn't cutting it at the top of the road, at the top of the order. So then you get moved to batting 7th, batting 8th. You got to recalibrate. And he's willing to dance around the batting order now. And he never would have in previous years. So is he going to have a quick hook on Taijuan Walker in close games? Because it should be more along the lines of you're getting games that are out of range. Whether you're getting pantsed or whether you're doing the pantsing, it's at least a minimum of 7 runs one way or the other. Other than that, you don't sniff warming up. Other than that, you don't get a chance at all to pick up the baseball and get loose. That's how I see it. And I was hoping that Taijuan Walker could at least become a salvageable relief arm in a game like this, let's say. And every time I talk myself into a bullpen arm this season, I have to do inner dialogue with myself and figure out if it's because I actually believe that they are good enough for that role, or is it because everything else is straight up vomit and you urinate all over your own leg and it gets in between your toes whenever you have to watch a name come in like Joe Ross. And the more and more I process it, yeah, it's obviously that. It's you are so embarrassing and so bad and so thin that it's that. I have to convince myself that Taijuan Walker could be good and useful. Taijuan Walker's not good and useful. Taijuan Walker is a stiff. We know what Taijuan Walker is. He's been here forever. You can't make this up. It won't pan out. That's the price we have to pay for stealing Zach Wheeler. It couldn't just be beautiful. It couldn't just be sensational and a beautiful steal. You have to have suffering involved, and your suffering was Taijuan Walker. And I know he's not the main priority today by any means, but it's a snowball effect from yesterday, and now my anger is now picking apart some things I didn't like yesterday, even though you got the win, and I was so riding the high because what I thought was you set the tone. What I thought is you had them down so bad where they were questioning a lot internally. I saw a clip on the broadcast of Francisco Lindor when Friday night's game was over, and he's picking up his glove in the dugout and he's grabbing some stuff, and then it showed another clip of some of the Mets walking into the clubhouse and gathering their things, and the look on their faces just seemed to be a group that was defeated. The morale was so low, almost broken in a way. So imagine this. Imagine you're in a street fight. Not that I condone this by any means. And the person you're fighting is on the ground, and you have a Timberland steel toe boot on. And you got the heel of that boot right on their neck. You have the advantage. You're in the spot of leverage. You dictate how this goes in the next few seconds. And somehow the person gets underneath and out of that situation, that sticky, bad feeling situation where you know you're toast in this street fight. You allowed for that person to maneuver out of it. And now they're back to being squared up. Shame on you.